Hello members, we're out here on the golf course trying to educate you on some of the things you might see while you're playing. So out here on the golf course, you're going to see these blue stakes. And what these stakes are indicating is, as you're approaching the green in your golf cart, before you reach these stakes, we would love for you to get your cart back on the path itself and park off to the side of the green on the path. We're just trying to keep this grass as nice and lush as we can so we don't have all the tire damage and really thinning out the stuff to play off of. So we're out here on the golf course once again talking about how to take care of things, and we're going to talk about raking bunkers. But before we start to rake the bunker, I think it's important to note that when you enter the bunker, you want to enter on as low a side as possible. See how there's no lip here, you can just walk in very easily. Because the problem is if you try to come down the steep lips, you can loosen the soil, weaken the grass, damage it, it can cave in the lips. So it's much easier to walk in on the low side and rake your way back out where it's a lot easier. When raking the traps, you don't necessarily need to dig the teeth into the bunker. We're not trying to draw a deep picture and get in there all deep like this. All we're trying to do is lightly put the rake in there and drag the little shape lightly through the sand, and see how smooth it's making. It's almost making the rake marks disappear. Just a light pull, and as you get the sand back to the lip here, this is when you go back the other direction to kind of push the sand back towards the middle of the bunker where you're playing from mostly. You want more sand down there and less in the lips. But see, this is a pretty smooth thing here. When you get your ball in here, it's easy to play off this surface and there's no gouge marks. Hello members, we're out here on the golf course talking about different scenarios and how we can take care of the course better. And driving down number one, I found this divot, which is ridiculous that nobody fixed it, but we're going to show you how to fix it. So what you want to do is I have the scooper of sand you can get from the side bucket. We also have sand in these bottles that you can use. I prefer the scoop, but once you take a divot on this grass, because the roots grow sideways, you cannot replace the divots. They will not re-root, so you have to use sand. Now when replacing sand in the divot, you don't need to put so much down that there's a mound like we're building a castle. What you want to do is smooth it to just below the surface of the grass. So as I put the sand in there, we want to smooth it just below the surface of the grass, because if you have more than that, when the mower's coming around, the blades will catch the sand and it can chip the blades and scratch them so that you have uneven playing surfaces when they mow. So it's really important to take care of the divot, but also not damage the mowers by putting too much sand down. Hello members, we're out here doing a how to take care of the golf course video series. We're looking at ball marks today. Now the thing about ball marks is the ball doesn't know who's hitting it, so if the ball is in the air at all and lands on this surface, it will leave a dent. And a lot of times people look around for their ball mark and they might not find it, but it might be because the ball rolled really far, so you might have to look back further than you think. Now when fixing the ball mark, we're going to get into how to do it, but I want to stress, when you're fixing the ball marks on these brand new greens, the roots are not as deep as greens that have been around forever, so we don't need to bury the divot fixer or the tee, whatever you're using, all the way to the hilt and bring all this sand up. You barely need to put pressure on it, and these greens will kind of fix themselves. But having said that, we're going to demonstrate how to fix it properly. So the best way to fix it is you go from the back part of where the ball came from, you go to the back of it, and we push forward back towards where you hit the shot from. And it puts all the grass kind of back over where it landed. And then with your putter or your shoe, you just lightly, you don't have to stomp on it, just lightly tap it down. And as you can see, you can hardly tell there was even a ball mark there. So I think it's really important to come in from behind the mark where it's lifted up, back towards where you came from is where you want to lightly push the soil around the lip, and then we just lightly tap it down with a putter or your shoe, and you won't even realize there was even a mark there before. Hello members, we're out here on the golf course once again, just pointing out some things that you might see out here. We are to the right of number 2, and we're going to see some ropes up. What we're trying to do is there's a few hot spots on the golf course where we'd prefer you not take your golf cart, because we're trying to keep the grass as healthy as we can, so all your playing conditions, no matter where you hit the ball, will be nice for you to chip from. So right of 2, once you get across the creek, we'd prefer you just go back to the cart path left of the green and come around to the next tee when you finish number 2. Other hot spots out here are to the right of number 8. So we're trying to rope that off as well, so that way you just stay to the path left of the green to allow that grass to stay healthy so you can have a nice lie. Also left of 13 you will see roped. That's another favorite spot where people like to drive up on the mounds, and we're not trying to punish anybody. We're just trying to keep the grass as really nice as we can, so when you're out playing, you're just loving the conditions that you have. Hello members, we're out here on the golf course kind of pointing out some new things. If you haven't noticed already, we have these really beautiful coolers we had made for Grasslands out here at the restroom. So on next to 8's green and next to number 16. And what you'll find in these coolers is bottled water. So when you're out here and you're thirsty and you get near these holes, lift this up, grab a bottle or two, and stay hydrated out here in the warm weather.